Disney's live-action remake of Pinocchio ruined the original animated film's main message. The Italian fantasy story was meant to teach children relevant life lessons, mainly about being honest with others and oneself. The 1940s Disney classic stuck closely to the roots of the original story. This new live-action remake, like so many others that came before it, is a bland interpretation of what it once was. The live-action Pinocchio started off strong with a vibrant cast including Tom Hanks as Geppetto, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Jiminy Cricket, and Luke Evans as the coachman, along with so many others. While the film had some elements that were new and interesting, they didn't add to the original message of the story. Fabiana the Puppeteer Girl, played by Kyan Carthy, was a new and refreshing addition to the story. Her song was sweet and inspiring, but her character didn't add to Pinocchio's development. The Blue Fairy, played by Cynthia Erivo, was absolutely stunning, but was hardly used as much as she was in the animated version. Her missing scene from the remake worked against a message that the film was trying to tell. 2022's live-action Pinocchio changed vital parts from the story, blurring the overall message along with it. The main messages of the original film and story revolve around being honest. In order to be a real boy, Pinocchio must prove himself to be brave, truthful and unselfish. In the 1940s version, Pinocchio is able to transform into a real boy by becoming everything he was supposed to be. Without the guidance of Jiminy Cricket, he had no real conscience, so naturally, he made mistakes. His character was able to evolve throughout the film due to the mistakes he made, similar to a young child growing up and becoming wiser. In the live-action remake, Pinocchio's character is less mischievous and naive, so he makes fewer mistakes and is still punished for them. At some points, his mistakes even end up helping him. Basically, Pinocchio hardly grows up. Pinocchio does nothing wrong on his way to school. Pinocchio is distracted by the devious Honest John. In the original film, Pinocchio doesn't end up going to school and decides to go with Honest John, who makes him promises of fame and fortune by becoming an actor. In the remake, Pinocchio does end up going to school, but is kicked out because he is not a real boy. Honest John approaches him again, and with seemingly no other options, Pinocchio follows him. Pinocchio did all the things he was supposed to do and did nothing wrong in these scenes. This completely derails the point of the story. Pinocchio is supposed to learn from his mistakes. Pinocchio's lies are used to help him. In the 1940 film, Pinocchio is saved from his scary situation with Stromboli by the Blue Fairy. Although he had brought the traveling puppet show success, Stromboli threw Pinocchio in a locked cage after the show. When asked how he ended up there, Pinocchio lies, causing his nose to grow longer and longer with each lie he tells. The Blue Fairy teaches him a lesson about honesty, stating that a lie keeps growing and growing until it's as plain as the nose on your face. After he learns his lesson, she helps him escape after telling him that a boy that won't be good may just as well be made of wood. In the live-action Pinocchio remake, the Blue Fairy never appears. Once Jiminy Cricket questions whether Pinocchio actually wanted to go to school, the wooden boy's nose begins to grow. Instead of learning a valuable lesson from this, his lies are able to help him escape. His long nose ends up reaching across the room, letting Jiminy Cricket get access to the key Pinocchio needed to escape. This scene is very important in the original film, and it was sadly ruined in the new rendition. Pinocchio is punished for no real reason. Towards the end of the film, Pinocchio is brought to Pleasure Island. In both films, he is taken mostly against his will to the island, but how he acts while there is very different. In the original, Pinocchio partakes in all the debauchery Pleasure Island has to offer. He destroys buildings, smokes, and drinks alcohol. As the story goes, the boys who glut on the illegal activities on the island turn into donkeys by the end of the night. Pinocchio grows ears and a tail as a punishment for his actions before escaping the island. In the remake, Pinocchio barely participates in what the island has to offer. Disney sanitized the new version, replacing liquor and smoking with root beer and candy. After one sip of root beer, Pinocchio grows ears and a tail. It's odd that Pinocchio is punished for his actions, as he made a conscious decision a majority of the time to not be bad like the other kids. It's as if he was punished for no real reason at all. In the original, the message is clear that bad kids who smoke, drink, and don't go to school get punished for it, and they make an ass out of themselves. Pinocchio wanted to go to school and to be a good boy, but he was still punished along with the others. This message gets lost in the new film. At the end of the film, it's not confirmed if Pinocchio becomes a real boy or not. The whole point of the story is that if he proved himself to be good, he would become real. It's almost as if he gets no reward in the end. The original made sure to highlight the importance of being good and kind by rewarding Pinocchio with the gift of life. The morals that the original story held were completely clouded by changes to the plot, and unfortunately, the true heart of the story of Pinocchio was lost.